So, Ollie, one question for you. You're running a sizable digital agency. Certainly at the moment, business owners here in Australia maybe don't have the same sort of issues that overseas businesses do. We're quite a lucky country here in Australia. Mental health and wellness, how are you dealing with that at PWD, just amongst your team?
Look, the biggest challenge, I think, as the owner, CEO, whatever you want to call me, managing director we have at the moment is probably cost of living. And my staff, obviously, that pressure from their rent or their house or trying to get a mortgage or support a child and childcare and those kind of things is being passed upstream. And they're then coming and asking for, more money year on year. And conversely, as the business owner, you're sort of looking at your employees and, this is something I've been doing quite recently. It's obviously timely with June 30, is sort of trying to go, well, I've only got a certain amount of money. I've got a budget, almost like the country's got a budget, the company's got a budget. How do I divide that up across my staff? And, who is worthy of, significant pay increases or just standard pay increases and those kind of things. That's the biggest issue I've had. The hardest, and then conversely, it's like the morale, because there are people there which, may not be getting what they hoped for or expected. And of course, they start looking and they go for other jobs, and then the grass isn't greener. And I guess something which maybe I'm probably more emotionally tied to than I should is, if somebody leaves my organisation, goes somewhere, obviously I still want the best for them. Right, whether they're going to a competitor or not, I still want them to go out and do well and succeed. To the point, I lost one of my staff recently to a competitor, but also a mate, and I've rung him and said, "How's she going? How's she getting on?" Mental health, I do think, is that silent thing, and we've had members of staff with suffering issues, be it anxiety or stress or just not coping, and you can only do so much, unfortunately, to shield them, especially when they're client-facing, because they are going to cop a spray sometimes from a client, right? We just talked about customer profiles and, good clients versus bad clients, and even a good client who gets pissed off can be a nasty client for the day. So that's hard to manage because you can only wrap them up in so much cotton wool and try to shield them and protect them. We're probably not at the size of organisation that we've got, counselling or, a counsellor online or like a hotline that they can ring. We're not Channel 9. I don't have, unfortunately, the resources to cover that as much as I'd like to have it. And we all go through it, myself included. You go through times where your stress and the pressure and, payments and everything, it does build up. It gets overwhelming. You're grinding your sleep and you can't sleep. So that's definitely tough. The cost of living is probably the biggest factor for a people-based organisation at the moment, and that's across PWD and my other organisations. It's exactly the same problem.